Don Lemon has to respond to homophobic comments from, well, Nicki Minaj. There's an update. Here it is.
In today's digital age, a single comment can spark a conversation that reaches millions within minutes. And when two of the most recognizable public figures in media and music collide, the reaction is immediate and intense. That's exactly what happened when rapper Nicki Minaj publicly criticized news coverage involving immigration and customs enforcement, and longtime journalist Don Lemon suddenly found himself at the center of her backlash. What followed wasn't just another celebrity disagreement. It became a larger discussion about media responsibility, language, and how public figures communicate in moments of frustration. Nicki Minaj's comments quickly went viral, triggering debate across social media and news platforms. But instead of staying silent, Don Lemon decided to respond directly and publicly. In this video, we break down exactly what happened.
Nicki Minaj and her response to all of this and the language that she used. I think it's interesting just because Nicki has been, over the last couple of months, made it clear that she is now publicly supporting, and I think maybe she has all along, but now publicly making it known for support for the Trump administration and even the MAGA movement.
What Nicki Minaj said, why Don Lemon felt compelled to speak out, and how the public reacted. Every detail is based on verified reporting from Billboard and People, ensuring facts, not speculation, guide the conversation. Don Lemon is one of the most recognizable figures in American broadcast journalism. For years, he served as a prominent anchor and commentator, known for addressing political, cultural, and social issues in a direct but measured style. His career placed him at the center of major national conversations, often involving sensitive topics that spark strong reactions. Nicki Minaj, on the other hand, is one of the most influential artists in modern music. With multiple chart-topping albums and a global fanbase, she has built a reputation not only for her artistry, but also for her outspoken presence on social media. Nicki has never shied away from expressing her opinions, particularly when she feels issues are being mishandled or misrepresented. When these two worlds, journalism and celebrity activism, intersect, the result can be unpredictable.
This is what I'll say to Nicki Minaj. I normally don't respond to things like this, but F it, I'm going to do it this time. I think Nicki Minaj has made it very clear how she feels about African Americans in this country, or I don't think she's one of them, obviously, and she should, under Trump's rules, she should be deported.
Both figures command massive audiences, and both understand the power of words in shaping public opinion. That's why their recent clash quickly became more than a passing headline. The situation began with coverage related to immigration and customs enforcement, commonly referred to as ICE. Media reporting around immigration enforcement has long been a sensitive and polarizing subject, often triggering emotional responses from both sides of the political spectrum. Nicki Minaj reacted strongly to how the topic was presented in the media. She voiced frustration with what she perceived as unfair or misleading coverage, expressing concern over how immigration enforcement stories were framed and discussed publicly. Her reaction was not subtle, and it immediately drew attention from both supporters and critics. The comments circulated rapidly across social media platforms, with fans amplifying her message and others questioning her choice of words. As the conversation escalated, Don Lemon's name entered the discussion due to his association with televised news commentary on similar topics.
And this sad clown is such an attention seeker that he is now trying to manufacture a ongoing feud with superstar Nicki Minaj after she called him out for his part in storming a church. He's hit back with this ugly diatribe.
What started as criticism of media coverage soon shifted into a personal exchange, and that shift is what intensified the backlash. Nicki Minaj addressed Don Lemon directly through social media, using language that many found controversial. While the disagreement itself centered on news coverage, her choice of words quickly overshadowed the original issue. Several commentators pointed out that certain terms used in her response were offensive and inappropriate.
Nicki Minaj going after Don Lemon, you see this? Like for reporting it?
It was so funny to me. People hate, it's so funny how many on the right hate, they hate transgender and gay people more than they do pedophiles.
Particularly in the context of identity and respect. Almost immediately, reactions poured in from fans, critics, journalists, and advocacy groups. Some defended Nicki, arguing that her frustration stemmed from feeling unheard or misrepresented. Others criticized the language itself, saying that disagreement does not justify personal attacks or harmful terminology. Major media outlets began covering the exchange, not because of the policy debate, but because of how quickly the situation escalated.
Stop being a pick-me. You should have put a pick-me doll on that damn tweet instead of a Chucky doll, because you are nothing but a pick-me. And I choose not to pick you. And so should black people and so should gay people. Shouldn't buy your music.
What could have remained a discussion about journalism standards instead became a moment that raised questions about accountability in online discourse. As attention grew, many wondered whether Don Lemon would respond or choose silence. Don Lemon did not remain silent. In a public response reported by People, he addressed the situation calmly and directly, focusing less on confrontation and more on clarification. Lemon explained that he was surprised by the personal nature of the comments and emphasized the importance of respectful dialogue, even during disagreements. He made it clear that criticism of journalism is valid.
Nicki Minaj, why are you supporting this homophobic, bigoted, ignorant woman? You should not be supporting her. Nicki Minaj, this is clearly out of her depth. She doesn't understand politics. She doesn't understand journalism. And I'm not surprised that she is weighing in on something.
But personal attacks cross a line that undermines productive conversation. Rather than escalating the conflict, Lemon framed his response around broader principles: responsibility, professionalism, and the impact public figures have when they speak. He acknowledged the intensity of public debates surrounding immigration, but stressed that language matters, especially when millions are watching. His response struck a measured tone, avoiding insults or retaliation. This approach drew praise from some commentators who saw it as an example of restraint in an era often dominated by online outrage. As expected, the public reaction was divided. Social media platforms became forums for debate, with users analyzing both Nicki Minaj's original comments and Don Lemon's response. News outlets covered the exchange extensively, not as gossip, but as an example of how celebrity influence intersects with journalism. The discussion expanded beyond the two individuals, touching on themes of accountability, free speech, and the responsibilities that come with massive platforms.
He's made a lot of people mad because he interviewed that pastor. Don is doing his job. Don is doing Don. And I'm so glad that I'm the one who encouraged them. You just show them. But Nicki Minaj, she's always spewing hate and just, I guess.
What stood out most was how quickly the narrative shifted, from immigration coverage to the tone and language used in public debate. This moment highlights a growing tension in modern media culture. Celebrities now have direct access to millions, allowing them to challenge news narratives instantly. At the same time, journalists operate under public scrutiny where every word is dissected and debated. The exchange between Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon illustrates how quickly conversations can lose focus when emotions take over. It also shows the lasting impact of language choices in public discourse. While disagreements are inevitable, the way they are expressed can either encourage understanding or deepen division.
Crying and begging for Don Lemon to be prosecuted and persecuted since he was inside the church reporting. Where were they? Or were they calling for concerned citizens to be prosecuted for radicalizing Dylan Roof when he shot up that Charleston, South Carolina church? Is that what they were doing then? I don't think.
This situation became a case study in how influence amplifies responsibility on both sides. As of now, there have been no reports of legal action or private reconciliation between Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon. After addressing the issue publicly, Lemon did not continue the back and forth, and the conversation gradually shifted to other news cycles. Nicki Minaj did not issue a formal apology, nor did she continue addressing Lemon directly following his response. The situation appears to have ended without further escalation, though its impact remains part of ongoing discussions about celebrity behavior and media ethics. In the end, the clash between Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon wasn't just about one comment or one news segment. It became a reflection of how powerful voices shape public conversations.
She tweeted out about Lemon, "Don cocksucking Lemon, forgive me, is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail.
Yeah.
He would never do that to any other religion. Lock him up." And then a picture of...
And how quickly those conversations can spiral when respect is lost. This story reminds us that disagreement doesn't require hostility, and influence comes with accountability. Whether in journalism or entertainment, words matter, especially when millions are listening. As media and celebrity culture continue to overlap, moments like this will likely become more common. The question isn't whether debates will happen, but how they'll be handled. Stay informed, rely on verified sources, and remember, behind every headline is a larger conversation worth understanding.